Do letters represent colors to you? Can you only understand dates and times by placing them in space? Do you feel physical sensation when it is not you but someone else being touched? Or do numbers hold gender and personality to you? This is synesthesia, a condition in which multiple senses combine to create a simultaneous multisensory perception. Following is a test for number-color association synesthesia. The first slide will last 10 seconds for you to view. If you spotted the red triangle of twos, this means you have number-color association synesthesia. Following is a test for letter-color association synesthesia. The first slide will also last 10 seconds. If you see the green triangle of H's, you have letter-color association synesthesia. These are only two types of synesthesia among the vast selection of unique synesthetes in the world. There are many more yet to be discovered.
Imagine a world in which you see numbers and letters as colored, even though they're printed in black, in which music or voices trigger a swirl of moving colored shapes, in which words and names fill your mouth with unusual flavors. Jail tastes like cold, hard bacon, while Derek tastes like earwax. Welcome to synesthesia, the neurological phenomenon that couples two or more senses in 4% of the population. A synesthete might not only hear my voice, but also see it, taste it, or feel it as a physical touch. Sharing the same root with anesthesia, meaning no sensation, synesthesia means joined sensation. Having one type, such as colored hearing, gives you a 50% chance of having a second, third, or fourth type. 1 in 90 among us experience graphemes, the written elements of language like letters, numerals, and punctuation marks, as saturated with color. Some even have gender or personality. For Gail, 3 is athletic and sporty. 9 is a vain, elitist girl. By contrast, the sound units of language, or phonemes, trigger synesthetic tastes. For James, college tastes like sausage, as does message and similar words with the "ige" ending. Synesthesia is a trait, like having blue eyes, rather than a disorder, because there's nothing wrong. In fact, all the extra hooks endow synesthetes with superior memories. For example, a girl runs into someone she met long ago. Let's see, she had a green name. Deezer Green, Deborah, Darby, Dorothy, Denise. Yes, her name is Denise. Once established in childhood, pairings remain fixed for life. Synesthetes inherit a biological propensity for hyperconnecting brain neurons, but then must be exposed to cultural artifacts such as calendars, food names, and alphabets. The amazing thing is that a single nucleotide change in the sequence of one's DNA alters perception. In this way, synesthesia provides a path to understanding subjective differences, how two people can see the same thing differently. Take Sean, who prefers blue-tasting foods such as milk, oranges, and spinach. The gene heightens normally occurring connections between the taste area in his frontal lobe and the color area further back. But suppose in someone else that the gene acted in non-sensory areas. You'd then have the ability to link seemingly unrelated things, which is the definition of metaphor, seeing the similar in the dissimilar. Not surprisingly, synesthesia is more common in artists who excel at making metaphors, like novelist Vladimir Nabokov, painter David Hockney, and composers Billy Joel and Lady Gaga. But why do the rest of us non-synesthetes understand metaphors like sharp cheese or sweet person? It so happens that sight, sound, and movement already map to one another so closely that even bad ventriloquists convince us that the dummy is talking. Movies likewise convince us that the sound is coming from the actors' mouths rather than surrounding speakers. So, inwardly, we're all synesthetes, outwardly unaware of the perceptual couplings happening all the time. Crosstalk in the brain is the rule, not the exception. And that sounds like a sweet deal to me.
Sight and smell.
What would you do with this gift?
I would look at how people smell and judge them on that.
And could this better society?
Yeah, if everybody had this, yeah, we could just like track people so much easier. But then again, it could be bad for society too, because like creeps out there and stuff. But yeah, if you used it for the right way, yeah, it could.
Seeing sounds.
And what would you do with this?
I would, when you play music or sing in choir, be able to see the sounds that we make. This could help in many ways, like with musical education or in choir class.
So how could this benefit society, do you think?
This could benefit with composing music, or when you go see different shows, you can tell the different sounds that they can make. You can see what they're doing for you.
Probably vision and hearing. Just, you know, recreational use to play betting games, why not? See what I can hear, see how far I can see, and, you know, throw off my friends and family with such ability. I feel like I'd be a lot cooler with everyone, because everyone would want me to do things for them and say, oh, what'd the teacher say? Oh, I got that for you. I can hear and see what they're writing for you from like a mile away. I mean, who wouldn't need that?
And how could this benefit society?
It probably wouldn't unless the government decides to, you know, abduct me and use me for clinical testing on how great my vision and hearing is.
Sound and sight? Probably just walk into a concert and just look at all the pretty colors, honestly. I think it would make me appreciate the arts a lot more.
So what kind of synesthesia do you have?
Oh, I don't even know what the official name for it is.
No, just like which two senses like mix for you?
Oh, it's... Wait. Is it like the visual... It's like the letters and numbers thing. And it's like I see them in color.
Oh, you see them in color.
It's sometimes with sounds.
So it's kind of like letter, number, like color sound thing?
Yeah, when I think of a letter or number, I associate it with a certain color. It's like, and it can sometimes change between like 2 or 3, but it generally stays the same.
How does that affect you, like on day-to-day stuff?
I wouldn't say it really affects me on day-to-day stuff. It's just more kind of a fun little like, oh hey, you know, like somebody's like, well, what is this word for you? When they ask me questions like that, I'm just like, oh, this is yellow or that's red, or like that's so cool. And I'm just like, because I didn't even actually know that it was an actual like a thing until somebody was like, wait, you see colors with that? And I was like, yeah, doesn't everybody? And like that's what
so you've had it for probably since you were like little?
I think since I was born. Yeah. I mean, I just as soon as I learned words, I just kind of like, as long as I can remember anyway, they were always with colors. It was kind of cool.
Does it work with people?
People's names. If I see their names, then that's in a certain color. But the people themselves aren't really. I mean, I guess. Because when I think of different people and then their name, if I'm associating that name with that person, then all right, okay.
Are there any disadvantages to this?
I don't think so.
Not to yours at least.
No, not to mine.
Yeah, I know other people's are like really weird and like out there. Have you met anyone else that has had this?
My sister has it.
Really?
And a couple friends that I know have it. They have the same kind that I have. And we just kind of like had like little fun conversations like, oh, what's this word for you? And we're like, oh, no, it can't be that color. That's so gross.
Oh, so your sister and you have like differing opinions on some of those stuff.
Yeah. We have like completely different things. And like occasionally we'll have one that's like the same color and we're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Like this letter or this number is the same thing. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, do your parents have it?
My parents do not.
No? Are they freaked out by it?
They just think it's weird. Like when we first started talking about it, they thought that it was fake, and they're just, you guys are just making these colors up.
Yeah.
And then like a few months later.
But no, it's like it's biological.
Oh yeah,
you can actually like see the.
Like a few months later, they asked us what the colors were again, and they were like the exact same, and they had remembered, and they were like, what? Like how did you remember that? And like we didn't remember. That's just what they are for us.
So if you could pick any kind, which one would you have, or keep the one you have?
I definitely would want to keep the one that I have, but if I would want a different kind, I kind of like the one with sounds and colors, because I kind of have that a little bit, but
like if you hear music, it'll be like
certain pitches and like certain things, but like not with all the notes and not with everything. Which I feel like if that was more, I don't know, like if I had that more, that would be really cool.
More prominent, like so you could like go to a concert and then you'd be like viewing art or something.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
It'd be really cool.
So what do you think the world would be like if everybody had this?
I think it would be more creative, just because it helps you get in touch with other of your senses more. It helps you like think outside the box. I don't know. It's kind of just like it gives you more of a colorful sense of mind, if you want to call it. I mean,
At this English pub, life can get confusing for bartender James Wannerton. He has a bizarre form of synesthesia. He doesn't just hear words, he also tastes them.
I see a customer, if I know his name, I instantly get the taste of his name. There's somebody that comes in here that tastes of wet nappies.
I think he was good at the taste.
James has no control over which taste is linked with which word.
The problems I have are, I mean, somebody will come in, they then order, say, a pint of that. I get the bacon rind taste. They then order a packet of roasted nuts. I don't get roasted nuts, I get some sort of peculiar burnt meat taste.
In everyday conversation, he's bombarded with a vast array of flavors. His synesthesia can even set off a battle between real flavors and the ones triggered by words.
Somebody says something to me, they're talking to me. I can be doing this, but whatever they've said, I'll get the flavour. The flavour will come in, and I'm sitting here listening to or tasting flavours while looking at this, smelling, then it's...
James Wannerton has a condition called synesthesia, a sensory mix-up that causes words he hears to trigger specific tastes. Neuropsychologist Jamie Ward is keen to find a pattern in the odd connections James makes.
Thanks for coming in today, James. What I'd like to go through with you is the particular taste that you get in response to some words. So I'm just going to read aloud some words, and if you just describe to me the best you can any taste that you might get for them. Is that okay?
Yep, fine.
Let's start with the word might.
I get a strong Marmite flavour.
What about the word wipe?
Wipe, that's Marmite again.
Okay.
It's very weak, so it's different from the other Marmite taste, but it's still Marmite.
Right, so what you're saying is that both the word might and wipe have the taste of Marmite?
They do, yeah.
Okay, well that's interesting, because both of these words obviously have particular sounds in common. So let's try another word that sounds similar. What about the word light?
Yeah, that's Marmite again, with lots of butter this time.
What's really interesting about this is that it suggests that there's a structure to his synesthesia, and it's not just arbitrary associations between words and tastes, but there is in fact a structure and a shape to this, which might tell us a little bit about how it's come about and about how it's actually wired in.
Dr. Ward has also noticed something else. A clue to how James's connections between words and tastes might have begun in the first place.
Okay, let's try another word. What about seven?
Seven's nice, that. It tastes like... Well, the only way I can articulate it is it tastes like Spangles, which are sweets, Spangles sweets. But I mean, I haven't had one of those in years. But it's a sweet I used to have as a child.
Dr. Ward has found that James only tastes foods from his childhood. He has no associations at all with flavors he discovered later in life, like olives or curry.
A lot of those flavours I've noticed are sort of things like tinned carrots and processed peas and...
Right.
Must have been a pretty awful diet, wasn't it?
Yes.
So what's perhaps happened in James is that in his childhood, during the process of vocabulary acquisition, there's kind of been a chaining between the sounds of words with the sounds of the names of food, going back down to the actual concrete experience of tasting that food.
It appears that early childhood is key to shaping synesthesia. Experiences most of us have long forgotten may have a profound impact on synesthetes for their entire lives. But scientists want to go a step further, to decipher what is going on inside the brain.
1 out. 2 out.
John Fullwood may help them answer that question. A synesthete, he sees colors triggered by spoken words. Incredible, since John is blind.
They're just like flashing colours. For example, 1 will be a whitish colour.
1 out.
2 will be an orangey colour.
2 out.